Afternoon, David Lapp here, coming to you live from my office in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Question today was submitted by SL from New Jersey. Not sure who you are, but thank you for the question. Question is, would love to hear your salvation story and how your born again experience impacted your Amish life and family. Uh, yeah, that has definitely been an interesting journey for us. So when we were excommunicated from the Amish church back in October of 2005, we had been living on a farm in Wayne County, Indiana at the time, and we had a 30-year vision on the farm, and we were at that point we were farming around 100 acres. We were milking about 45 cows, 45 to 50 cows. We were actually in the process of transitioning to organic farming. And we had 30-year plans on the farm. We were planning on then moving that on to our children. Basically, our vision was to live and die on the farm, and nobody was even going to know we had lived. That was about as far as our vision went. But early 2000s, we had some pretty major encounters with God, and we basically shook everything that we knew. And we had, up to that point, we were living the Amish lifestyle. A lot of people see Amish as a religion. We would have always seen Amish more as a way of life than as a religion. And out of that, Christianity was a religion. That's the way we would have seen it when we got born again. In you know when we got born again and had the radical experience with God in the early 2000s, it was a question of religion over our faith, and there was no way that we could stay with the traditional mindset and still walk where we knew God called us to walk. So, you know, like I said, Amish was always more of a way of life than as a religion, and Christianity was more what we would have seen as what we stood for. And was it easy? No, it wasn't. I mean, it was we were basically left behind the life we knew. Lost a lot of friends, family over that time. We were always welcome at, like, for myself and my wife. We were at that point, we had been married for 2 years. I was 23, I believe, and my wife was 21. And it was a big step for us because there was everything we knew got shaken. Our relationships were in question, but we knew God had called us to something bigger. And sometimes you have to take that step. Sometimes you have to step out in faith and trust that God has a plan in that. And over the course of the next number of years, we lost a close community with the Amish, but we had a group of us that had left over the same time. There was three of my brothers and their wives, and one of my sisters and her husband. And right over that time, we had been walking together pretty closely. And that's really what that small community is really what gave us the ability to continue to move forward. After we were excommunicated, we had stayed on the farm for another about 8 or 9 months. I think it was May of 2026 or 2006 that we moved off the farm. And it came down to the point where our system was set up for an Amish farmer, and we had certain ways things were set up. And when the mechanic or the guy that did our maintenance on our milking system was no longer willing to service us simply because of having left the Amish way of life, and not being able to walk where we had been walking, he said he would no longer be able to service our equipment. That was like the final straw, if you will. Uh, but there's so much that we've gained, by being able to take that step, being able take the freedom that goes with following God and just walking in that has really been a huge blessing in our life. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey. It's been a hard journey. It's been a good journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And as we go through life, we see the beauty of what God did in our lives the last 18 years, 19 years, even before that. But there was some things that we could have done differently, and looking back, probably should have done differently. But at the time, we did the best we knew, and we were, there was a few people we went back to and apologized for some of the things that we've said or done over the years. But all in all, I feel like if we can walk where God called us to walk, there's always a much greater plan than if we try to figure everything out, as we go through life, and as we try to hold everything with an open hand, and we allow God to shape that, mold that, we're able to walk, at a whole different level. So, yeah, it has been it's definitely been a good journey, the last 20 years, like I said. But over the time when we were in the midst of it, when we were, struggling to discern, are we for sure that we're hearing God on this? Are we, with all the challenges that go with that, all the questions, all the what ifs, but being able to tune into what God was saying at the time, and to just to continue to trust God in that process has been huge for us. So, yeah, thanks for the question. Again, this was a question. I would love to hear your salvation story and how your born again your born again experience impacted your Amish life and family. Just to add on to that, my in-laws at the time, they were very concerned about where we were going, what we were doing. Which, looking back, I can probably see more where they were coming from than I could then. But they have always told us that as long as we respect them, they would respect us. And I would say they have definitely kept their side of that bargain, where we were actually at this point, I would say we have a very good relationship with my Amish in-laws. We are welcome there anytime. It's been 19 years now, going on 20 years this fall. And I would say the relationship has definitely been growing in a lot of good ways. For the first time in 19 years, last September, they were at our house for a meal, and that was pretty special for my wife and I. After not having something, for years, being able to serve them was a huge blessing. And what we see as we continue to walk the journey is that we can respect them and their beliefs, and we can share what we believe, why we believe what we do. We believe God has a plan in that, and if we can work together, if we can, we're all here to serve God. We're all here to make a difference for eternity, and the more we can walk together. If we disagree, have a conversation around that, the more we can have an impact on people around us. So, yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, love to answer them. Submit them in the link in the conversation, and I would love to get to your questions as good as I can, and just give you my perspective on what I see with that. So, yeah, thank you for joining, and I'm trying to do one a day. They don't quite get that done, but that's my goal, is to do one live stream a day. You might have noticed I have added X. I'm also streaming to X now. And I have not seen it coming through on Telegram yet. If somebody does see that, comment on that chat, because I have not seen them coming through. So I'm not sure if there's a setting wrong or what. But yeah, I looking forward to